So you know, Puffy's sons and my sons have been best friends since they were 6, 7 years old. I didn't make it happen and Puffy didn't make it happen. One night I was at my house and Puffy's son was over about like 9 o'clock and I'm like, cuz, what time you going home? And he like, I'm spending the night.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this.
You nephew, take that top card.
When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it.
Snoop Dogg went quiet. Not just low-key quiet, but completely off the radar. And now insiders are talking, saying the reason behind that silence might be deeper than anyone expected. Some are even claiming Snoop could be connected to moments that overlap with the same circles Diddy is being accused of being part of. That's what's being whispered right now, and it's sending shockwaves through the industry.
We were scheduled to do the outside of the college, outside of the gymnasium, because that's what my team was good at. You understand? I had 18 guys prepared to be outside to make sure that we could get the crowd in order. You understand? Before there was any crowd. You got to set the things up before you even get the crowd like that, especially in those type of things. And back then in the days, we used to have dogs and everything. I would have a guy with 2 dogs walking the street, making sure people go down the lane, you know what I'm saying, and don't bum rush the doors. You know, people ain't bum rushing the doors when you got dogs out there. You know what I mean? So, and it's crazy that we had to do parties like that, but that was one of our security things that we did. So now, Puff called me and said, yo, Gene, we only need 8 guys. I said, 8 guys? You can't, ain't no way you're gonna do the Shooter College with 8 guys. He said, no, Heavy D, because him and Heavy D was doing a party together. He was like, yo, Heavy D want the FOIs to do the outside. I said, the FOIs? He said, yeah. So I said, yo, fuck it, I ain't gonna do it. You know, and then my man, who's my partner, Slick, said, yo, man, we're gonna go ahead and do it, man. And we just gonna get a couple of bottles, just gonna chill, and, you know, we just go outside. We do the downstairs. So Puff told me that, you know, he just wanted us to do inside the gym to make sure that nobody, you know, be over the celebrities like that. That's what he wanted my team to do. But most of the celebrities gonna have their own security anyway. You know what I'm saying? That was just a way to cut our security off anyway. So he cut the security and he got the FOIs, and the FOIs left their post, and that's how the people bum rushed the door, and 9 people died by going.
What really caught people's attention is the timing. The second Diddy, The Reckoning exploded on Netflix, Snoop vanished from social media. No Instagram updates, no tweets, no public sightings, nothing at all. For someone who's usually active and vocal, that sudden disappearance raised eyebrows fast. Fans started asking, where's Snoop? And the silence only made the questions louder. Here's what people say is about to be revealed in this story. First, why Snoop reportedly stepped away the moment Diddy's name became the hottest topic in entertainment. Second, claims from individuals who say they witnessed events that allegedly place Snoop in some of the same environments now under scrutiny. Third, long-standing moments from the past that critics say look very different today. Details that have been public for years but are now being re-examined. And finally, an alleged incident involving Kim Porter that insiders claim caught both Diddy and Snoop in an unexpected situation. These are all allegations, but they're being discussed heavily right now. Before going any further, it's important to understand how close Snoop and Diddy really were back in the day.
So you know, Puffy's sons and my sons have been best friends since they were 6, 7 years old. I didn't make it happen and Puffy didn't make it happen. One night I was at my house and Puffy's son was over about like 9 o'clock and I'm like, cuz, what time you going home? And he like, I'm spending the night. I'm like, did you tell your dad? He like, nah, my mom dropped me off. So Kim, rest in peace, was connecting my kids with Puff kids, and they formed a friendship and a bond. When Justin went to UCLA, my son went to UCLA. When Christian was rapping, my son was rapping. When he was modeling, they was flying over the world together. So they forged a friendship and a brotherhood that me and Puff always.
This wasn't a casual industry connection. They were frequently seen together in studio sessions, high-profile parties, major events. friends, moving like longtime allies in the same world. That history is exactly why people are now taking a second look at everything. When 50 Cent's documentary dropped, it didn't just make noise, it dominated. It shot straight to #1 on Netflix in the US and the UK. Social media lit up as viewers reacted to allegations, survivor stories, and behind-the-scenes accounts tied to Diddy's world. The documentary discussed exclusive parties and a side of fame many viewers said they never knew existed. And with all that attention, Snoop's silence only stood out more. What has people truly confused is this. While nearly every major voice in hip-hop weighed in, posting reactions, sharing opinions, or at least acknowledging the documentary, Snoop said absolutely nothing. No statements, no indirect comments, no subtle reactions. For someone known to speak on major cultural moments, that quiet felt unusual and left people speculating. And here's another layer that keeps coming up. In a past TV appearance, Snoop openly talked about how close his family was with Diddy's family. He said their sons had been close since they were about 6 years old. According to Snoop, both families spent a lot of time together, with Kim Porter often organizing playdates and gatherings that brought everyone into the same circle. Those comments are resurfacing now, and people are looking at them through a very different lens. And it didn't stop there at all. When Justin Combs enrolled at UCLA, Snoop's son ended up there too. When Christian Combs started releasing music, Snoop's sons were stepping into the studio around the same time. This wasn't just coincidence. These families stayed closely linked across education, music, and personal life. Their paths kept crossing in ways that made people say this connection ran deep. So here's the real question people are asking right now. When someone that close to you gets pulled into a massive public scandal and your immediate reaction is to disappear completely, what does that signal? Most people would at least speak up, clear the air, or acknowledge what's happening in some way. Going completely silent only adds another layer of mystery and keeps the conversation alive. To understand why this has people talking, you have to look at what the allegations themselves are about. There are claims involving exclusive parties where inappropriate behavior allegedly took place. Some witnesses say they saw Snoop in uncomfortable or questionable moments alongside Diddy, while other rumors stretch further, suggesting he may have been present in environments now being heavily criticized. These are allegations, not proven facts, but they're serious enough that people are paying attention. This isn't light gossip, it's heavy discussion, and nobody would blame you for stepping back at this point. But for those who want to understand why this story keeps gaining momentum, the details people are digging into next are what's really turning heads. Now let's talk about Snoop's past behavior, because once people started lining up these moments, they said the pattern felt hard to ignore. On their own, each moment might seem harmless, but together, they've got folks rethinking old clips and interviews. Take that old TV moment where Diddy said, "When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it." At the time, it sounded like a joke, but now viewers are replaying Snoop's reaction. That stiff smile, that awkward pause. Some say it looks like the reaction of someone who understood the meaning behind the comment. People online are saying it doesn't feel random anymore. It feels like two people sharing context no one else in the room had. That's the energy people are picking up on now. But that's just scratching the surface, because once deeper claims came out, the conversation shifted fast. Here's another moment that's resurfacing. Suge Knight, who is currently incarcerated and has been outspoken in interviews, recently made a claim about the night Tupac was shot in Las Vegas. According to Suge, Snoop was originally supposed to attend the Mike Tyson fight with the group. The plans were made, everything was set, but at the last minute, Suge says Snoop pulled out without giving a clear reason. What makes this stand out is that, according to Snoop, rarely missed events like that back then. He didn't show up to the fight, didn't attend the club afterward, and didn't reconnect with the group that night. Then, not long after, Tupac was shot. And while Tupac was hospitalized, people noticed Snoop still stayed away. None of this proves anything, but the timing has fueled questions that haven't gone away. Suge also claimed that during that entire time, Snoop stayed at his own place in Las Vegas, keeping his distance from everything unfolding. Now, that alone doesn't prove a thing, but when people line up the timing, the relationships, and the silence that followed, it leaves room for serious questions. For many observers, something about that night still feels unfinished, like pieces of the story never fully came together. Here's where the story takes a heavier turn. After Tupac was shot, Suge said he repeatedly called Snoop, saying things like, "Hey man, what's going on? Pax is in the hospital, come check on him. According to Suge, when Snoop eventually drove over, the mood was already tense. Tupac's mother was there, devastated and desperate for updates about her son, and the energy in the room was emotional and raw. Suge claimed that when Snoop arrived, he said, "Tupac hates me right now. He's mad at me." Then, according to Suge, Snoop broke down hard. Not just emotional tears. Suge said Snoop started crying uncontrollably and even became physically sick. Some people interpret that reaction as extreme stress or shock, while others speculate it looked like the weight of something deeper. Either way, it was an intense moment that left a lasting impression on everyone there. But the story doesn't end there. It gets even stranger. Warren G, who is closely connected to Snoop, later confirmed that Snoop was at his house the same night Tupac was shot. That detail alone raised eyebrows. And then came another claim that really caught attention. Warren G allegedly said Snoop had a walkie-talkie with him that night. Not a basic one either, but high-level security-style radios typically used by professional crews. According to Suge, those radios were capable of transmitting long distances. That led people to ask uncomfortable questions. Why would Snoop allegedly have access to that kind of equipment while sitting at a house watching the fight on TV? And why do some claim he could hear communications from Las Vegas that night? Things get even more chilling with what others have claimed. Multiple people later said they heard someone over a radio say, "Got him," shortly after Tupac was shot. That claim alone sent shockwaves through conversations online. Now, none of this has been proven in court, and these remain allegations shared by individuals telling their version of events. Still, when all these details are placed side by side, many say it starts to feel less like random coincidence and more like a story with missing pieces hiding in plain sight. And here's what keeps this conversation alive. It's not just Suge Knight making noise about this. Fans have gone back and closely re-watched old interviews and footage from the 1990s, paying attention to Snoop's body language whenever Tupac was around. People point out moments where Snoop avoids eye contact, looks tense, or keeps physical distance. Whether intentional or not, viewers say you can feel the awkward energy through the screen. Some also noticed that during the height of the East Coast versus West Coast feud, Snoop appeared more comfortable around Diddy's circle than staying fully locked in with Death Row. That observation alone has sparked endless debate. Even back then, whispers were already floating around in hip-hop circles. Some people openly questioned whether Snoop stayed loyal to Tupac during those intense years. At the time, most brushed it off because Snoop's public image was always relaxed, smooth, and unbothered. But now, with everything being re-examined, fans are saying those old moments hit differently. Looking back, some believe the warning signs were always there, hidden behind charm, jokes, and that calm delivery. And this next part is where the story shifts into uncomfortable territory, because the focus moves away from speculation and toward alleged evidence. This is where things start to feel much heavier. Now here's the major twist shaking people up. A man named Courtney Burgess, who says he has over 35 years of experience in the music industry, has stepped forward with a serious claim. He alleges that he has access to Kim Porter's real memoir. Not the version that was released publicly and later rejected by her children, but an earlier manuscript he says contains first-hand material Kim compiled herself. According to Courtney, what's inside that memoir is explosive. Courtney claims Kim Porter had been quietly documenting events behind the scenes for years. He says she kept photos, notes, and personal records because she understood how powerful Diddy was and wanted protection for herself. Before her passing in 2018, Courtney alleges that Kim shared this information with someone she deeply trusted. These claims have not been verified, but they've reignited intense discussion online. Here's the part that has people stunned. Courtney alleges that Kim's original memoir includes photos of Snoop and Diddy together in moments he says felt unusually personal. He described images where interactions appeared more intimate than a casual greeting. Courtney specifically claimed these weren't quick handshakes. These were long, intimate touches caught on camera. That statement alone sent shockwaves across social media. To be clear, these are allegations and interpretations, not proven facts. Still, when combined with resurfaced footage, old interviews, and long-standing rumors, many people feel like this story keeps getting heavier by the day. And as more names and claims come into the spotlight, the pressure around unanswered questions continues to grow. During that interview, things got even more heated. The host reportedly showed several redacted images, faces blurred out, but the body language alone had viewers locked in. People said you could clearly see a level of closeness and comfort that didn't line up with what fans usually expect from these public figures. Kourtney doubled down by saying, "We don't hold our man's hand, we shake it and keep it moving." But these pictures told a whole different story. That comment alone sent social media into overdrive. And according to Kourtney, it wasn't just about Snoop and Diddy. He claimed Kim Porter's collection allegedly included photos of Diddy with other well-known male artists too. Names like Ne-Yo and Andre Harrell were mentioned as being caught in similar-looking situations. Kourtney said everything was carefully organized, dated, and stored by Kim before her passing, almost as if she believed the material might matter one day. These claims haven't been verified, but the way he described it made people uneasy. At first, many brushed this off as another wild industry rumor, just talk, speculation, nothing more. But that mood shifted fast when reports surfaced claiming a federal investigation had allegedly confirmed parts of what Kim had been documenting. That's when the jokes stopped and people started listening more closely. Then things escalated again. A lawyer named Ariel Mitchell appeared on national television, and what she said next poured gasoline on the fire. Here's where the story truly blew up, live on TV. Attorney Ariel Mitchell, who represents several alleged victims connected to the Diddy investigation, revealed that her office had been contacted by someone attempting to sell a secret recording. She described it as a so-called freak-off tape involving Diddy and another celebrity, and the part that stunned everyone. Mitchell said the second person in the video is allegedly more famous than Diddy himself. Mitchell stated that she has seen still images taken from the footage. According to her, the other celebrity's face is clearly visible, and the video was allegedly recorded inside Diddy's Atlanta mansion. Even more unsettling, she explained that it appeared the other person did not know they were being recorded. She said it looked like the footage was captured secretly, without that individual's awareness of the camera. She also made it clear that the content of the tape is extremely explicit, but due to legal limits, she could not identify the second celebrity involved. Despite that, rumors spread fast. Multiple independent sources, not just random online users, began circulating the same name as the alleged person in the footage, Snoop Dogg. To be clear, no proof has been presented publicly, and no charges have been filed tying Snoop to this claim. These remain allegations and source-based speculation. Still, the fact that the same name kept coming up from separate directions has kept this story front and center, and people are watching closely to see what comes next. And when people look at the timing, it makes them stop and think. Kim Porter, who allegedly had serious information connected to Diddy and possibly others, passed away suddenly in 2018 from pneumonia. She was reportedly healthy and only 47 years old. That's what's caused many fans to question whether her passing was simply a tragic medical event or something that deserves deeper scrutiny. No evidence has confirmed wrongdoing, but the timing alone has kept suspicions circulating. But the story doesn't stop there. People who were actually close to Diddy have started speaking out, adding more layers to an already complicated picture. These aren't anonymous online comments. These are first-hand accounts from people who say they were inside that world. One of the loudest voices is Gene Deal, Diddy's former personal bodyguard. Gene worked closely with Diddy for years and claims he witnessed things most outsiders never saw. In a recent interview, Gene made a shocking statement saying, "Diddy is a demon possessed by something dark." That's his personal belief, not a proven fact. He went on to describe parties he attended that felt controlled and unsettling, with strict rules, specific lighting, unusual music, and what he described as ritual-like behavior. Gene also claimed he saw what appeared to be a spiritual ceremony. According to him, a person he described as a spiritual guide applied some kind of oil or substance to Diddy's head. To many listeners, it sounded unreal, but coming from someone who says he was present, the story made people pause and question what kind of environment existed behind those closed doors. Then Gene shared a moment that truly stunned listeners. He described a situation where Diddy was allegedly asked to release a white dove from a cage during one of these gatherings. Instead of flying away, Gene claimed the dove fell straight to the ground. He said he had never seen anything like it before. Again, this is Gene's account, not verified evidence, but it left a strong impression on those who heard it. And here's the part fueling even more conversation. Multiple individuals are now claiming that Snoop Dogg was present at some of these same gatherings, not just briefly stopping by, but allegedly taking part in events that felt secretive and unusual. These claims suggest he wasn't only attending music-related parties, but was present during moments some described as dark or uncomfortable. To be clear, none of these allegations have been proven in court, and Snoop has not been charged with any wrongdoing. wrongdoing. Still, the idea that multiple witnesses are mentioning the same names has made people look at the past differently. If these claims were ever confirmed, they would drastically reshape how the public views everyone involved, which is exactly why this story continues to spark intense debate.